trippy.
We went to the Greenbelt? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, to Sculpture Falls.
To water. And I was like, and then Michael saved me from drowning. So, thank you.
Good job.
Yeah. I did not admit I was drowning until like a week and a half later. I was like, I kept that to myself.
Ask for help. Always remember to ask for help.
But so
Yeah, he's very tall. So.
it's very deceiving when he's standing in water.
He's like, it's like chest deep, it's fine. And she steps in and is like, oh.
There was a current because like it rained, and so yeah.
We're just glad you're still here.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here. Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out for the break. Welcome back. We are super excited to introduce, I forgot that word for a second, our 3 featured readers.
We host this every month for the past 3 years.
We have English degrees, and I forgot the word introduce.
Oh, can I say
Words.
something really
Yes.
quick? Yeah. Okay. So I just want to give a shout out to the Chacon Street Poets. They sent us some great writers and recommendations, and that's how I found a couple of our featured readers for tonight. And so we all recommend readers for each other's series, and they're really, really great folks. And feel free to follow them on Instagram, on Facebook, Chacon Street Poets.
Go to their readings.
Yes, go to the readings. Go to the readings. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. We can continue.
Yeah, without further ado, I will introduce our first reader. Nia KB is a queer Black poet, musician, editor, and journalist from Fort Worth, Texas. She completed her BA in Writing and Journalism at Texas Christian University, where she founded TCU Underground and is it TC Underground or TCU Underground?
TCU Underground.
Okay, TCU. It's like all one word. It's cool. And TCU Association of Black Journalists. She has received honors from Lambda Literary and the TCU English Department, and her work appears in 1147, Z Publishing House, Pamplemousse, and elsewhere. Favorite ice cream flavor is pecan pralines and cream. Yeah.
I'm gonna move this because, no. And also, I just don't trust that on my tablet. Hey, I'm Nia, like they said. I'm gonna start. I always start anytime I have a reading with a poem I really like. So this poem has cussing in it. If you're not cool with that, just close your ears. JK, we're all adults. So this is called All They Want Is My Money, My Pussy, My Blood, and it's from Morgan Parker's There Are More Beautiful Things Than Beyonce. Everyone needs to be reading this. If you're not, you need to. All right, all they want is my money, my pussy, my blood. I am free with the following conditions. Give it up. Give me. Give me. Okay, so I'm Black in America, right? And I walk into a bar. I drink a lot of wine and kiss a black man on his beard. I do whatever I want because I could die any minute. I don't mean YOLO. I mean they are hunting me. I know my pussy is real good because they said so. I say to my friend, I'm broke as a joke. I'm starving like Marvin Gaye. I am so hungry I could get it on. There's far too many of me dying. The present is not so different. Everybody looks like everybody I worked with. Everybody looks like everybody I kissed. Men champion men and animals. Everybody thinks I'm going to die. At the museum, I tell the school group about Black art. I tell them the word contemporary. I have a nose ring I forget about. I have a brother, and he is also Black. I'm a little modern to a fault. I say this painting is contemporary, like you and me. They ask me about slavery. They say Martin Luther King. At school, they learned that Black people happened. The present is not so different. I'm looking into their Black faces. They do not understand that they exist. I'm Black in America, and I walk into a bar and drink a lot of wine. Kiss a white man on his beard. There's no indictment. I could die any minute of depression. I just want to have sex most of the time. I just want my student loans to disappear. I just want to understand my savings account. What is happening to my $5.01? I'm free with the following conditions. What is happening to my brother? What if I do something wrong? My blood is so hot and wet right now. I know they want it. I do everything right just in case. I don't want to give away my money, but here I am. It's so stupid, I have to say here I am. They like to be on top. I'm being set up. I'm a tree, and some fruits are good, and some are bad. Right, enough of OPP. Back to my poetry. OPP is other people's poetry. I just love saying that. So I think that poem was a really good segue because the first poem I have has an epigraph from that poem. Smart. All right. It's called Everything's Temporary. Feel free to like clap or like snap. Why couldn't I think of snap? Wow. And like say or something if you like to. All right. It's called Everything's Temporary. I do whatever I want because I could die any minute. Morgan Parker. I think I've got it right this time. I met a girl at Buzzmill last night, and we danced to the touch of our tongues until the light came up and she ran away. I figured it was tequila on my breath. Or she didn't know I was a girl, and that's the beauty of LEDs. On the walk home, I gabbled to strangers about making out platonically, while closing time blasts over nightlife intercom. I wish every week was blissful like this, but I'm a black queer woman, and there's no escaping that. On weekends, I do what I want, because everything's temporary. Black and queer and women bodies, this body, and my fly fit for the function next Saturday. After I sell a portion of my life to corporate America for rent, I'm going out for drinks with my gals, and I plan to find another lovable lady to land these crispy lips on, so we can bond over brokenness, filling our voids with songs and saliva, with hopes of wasting another night on something, anything other than. All right, so that was that. All right, so I don't know, my poetry style is like, I guess if I could put it into words, like I balance humor with like super serious stuff. If you couldn't like tell. So my next poem is, so this poet named Sam Sachs, you might know him. And he did this thing at our school where he said, find something in the room and like praise the shit out of it, right? So at the time I couldn't do it, but when I went home, I was like, that's a really good prompt. So this one is called To My Wooden Desk with Love. When I should be focusing on writing brilliant poetry, I sit and obsess over the painting in your corner. How blue bleeds into orange and green, then splatters on itself, a metaphor for our beautiful mess life. I wonder sometimes if you cuss me out while walking out of the door of our crappy apartment to go talk shit about me with other home fixtures. Would you tell everyone I'm a fraud with no talent? Expose me as a lifeless life hack? Oh, scratchy, dusty disc. I owe you my soul and dignity. For the papers of secrets sprawled atop your sturdy frame, and the compulsive scratches in your circular middle that oddly resembles a navel. I should have gotten us a shelf after my book count surpassed 10, and clothed you with cheesy art decorations to stop the painful ruining of your streaks. I should have flipped you face down, propping your prickly legs in the air, and picked you up with all my strength, sweat dripping into my mouth, to move you to the kitchen, a much better suited space for your talent. But I didn't, and for that, I'm sorry. Sorry I'm such a terrible human to you. Sorry I spend more time crying and observing than writing. Sorry that even though I'm sorry, I'll move on to another wooden desk that'll be forced to withstand my abuse of its fruitfulness and forget the things I've apologized for while you age and you're lonely. next one, I'm gonna keep it really short. So I had this class this semester called Born to Be Wild. So I had to write in the opposite style of like what I'm used to for the class. And I just never write in form. I don't know if you can like tell through the auditory things I do, but I just don't write in form because like I just know. And this poem is an abecedarian. I also don't write about very many subjects. I keep my, I stay in my lane, but this one is about a subject that I usually don't write about. It's called My First Boyfriend. You just tell from the title. LOL. All right. It's called My First Boyfriend. A senior named Tyler walked me to freshman English, then pressed his pretty boy lips on mine. For the first time, I saw beneath his acne-free face and crest-whitened teeth a reminder of my vitality. When we started dating, I doubted he fancied my scarred, ashy knees and beast-like method of beating, but his light brown eyes sparkled, no matter how improper and foolish I was. For fun, I tamed his matted braids with my cheap, flaky gel after school. To my surprise, we were a good high school couple. On humid afternoons after lunch in his blue car, he looked away when I needed to change out of my undershirt. He wasn't threatened by my jokes when he kissed my neck or my unhealthy obsession with knowing everything about him. His last name started to sound good lying behind a hyphen next to mine. For some time, our age difference didn't matter until the day we went to his house to play video games. He decided now was a good time to touch me there, slow and with sensual purpose. I opened my mouth to utter the words no, and his soft, manly hands applied pressure to my neck long enough for me to scratch him bloody. He uttered quietly, sorry, and I stood without words remembered or left in the drying river of my psyche. I sprinted out the door to the nearest secluded stop sign and let the lonesome helplessness escape through my confused tears. I arrived at school the next day, and somehow the bearded, sweet face I used to know looked smeared with regret and sorrow, a feeling I erased with vacuity. Last week, he friended me on Facebook, and I saw his 3 children with women 2 or 3 years younger than me. For a while, I hovered around the great X, wondering whether he'd know if I blocked him. Some people will always yearn for youth, I whispered to myself. Yet I can't help but wonder if those zigzag braids still stink of gel and his hands still look like lions clawed them. I hate being serious, but that was like super serious. I've never read that out loud. That was definitely an experience, but I'm glad y'all held me accountable to not cry. All right, so this next one is also a little heavy. So it's called Elegy / What I Miss About You. I had a best friend since 8th grade, and he passed away in 2016. Didn't really know how to process that because I don't know how to be sad sometimes. And in order to process that pain, I started writing these poems about him. And this one in particular is super endearing to me because it's about the things I miss about that person. So, all right, let's do this. Dedicated to Travis E. Green. The Taylor Swift and T-Pain song, the walks to your house after school, staying over when my mom told me to go, being jealous that my mom liked you, being jealous that everyone liked you with your pretty stone-strong teeth, being jealous that my teeth aren't as pretty, being jealous that my lies aren't that pretty, explaining our heliocentric friendship, bonding over how bad little mama is, tugging at my insecurities, watching you dance, watching you command the ground with your walk, hearing you lie and believing you anyway, loving you in secret because feelings are bad, writing love songs all day last summer, talking shit about everyone last summer, being homeless and eating hot dogs last summer, driving down Sagewood half drunk and half broken, driving you everywhere because you couldn't drive, the millions of jokes about how you couldn't drive, saying in unison, why are we like this? Being offended when someone else is your friend. Erykah Badu songs we sung like they were ours, watching you talk while you drink coffee, you calling me young because I don't drink beer and coffee, your woolly hair and satin pillow skin, your bulletproof pride and massive selective hearing, hating each other in 8th grade, coming out to our parents in 9th grade, being 300 miles close in college, meeting all your college friends, planning on dropping out and moving in, you making me believe I was talented, the mentions of your mother over weed, not being triggered by the phrase best friend when you were a phone call or text or drive away, not a fossil launched in the back of my head, when you were more than anxiety-inducing sweaty eyes and my psyche didn't wander every fucking second, when you were still here, laughing and loving, what our teachers called my soulmate, and honestly, hopelessly breathing. Alright, so I'm gonna flip it, whiplash. This one is called Breakdancing in a Straight Jacket. It's about having like a shitty person that you call your girlfriend or boyfriend and just like not caring. You don't want to be lonely. It's a mood. Don't act like that don't happen, because it does. So yeah, it also got some more like dancing in there, if you can't tell from the title. All right, breakdancing in a straight jacket. At night, I wrap myself up in all my girlfriend's baggage. It keeps me cozy enough to not be considered lonely. She calls, I jump, she screams, we hump. My judgment is breakdancing in a straight jacket. And like molten chocolate bleeding from one layer of cake to the other, I feel consumed by crippling monophobia. I am so sad I could sing right now. So sick of sadness, I may die. Our passion, once living vibrant and carefree, withered with the winter's bronze-colored leaves, and dwindle as if my song will follow. 2. When she pressed those lemon meringue lips on my skin, I felt everything that was haunting me inside start to hide from plain sight, long enough for me to fall in love with suppression. From that day, I agreed to be the villain in my own story. So tell me why our green screen love and teenage rom-com life scored 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. 3. When she's gone, I'm doing my best to imitate freedom, shaking my ass with anxiety. I'm twisting like a sphere of rapturous glee, wanting everyone at the club to love me. For the fragile white egg I've become, ignore the crack in my center and oozing onto the neon dance floor. I want everyone to spin like the decaying earth with me, temporarily under bright lights, dizzy with failure, until she calls me home and I continue breakdancing like the single warm body I'm destined to be. So unfortunately, we've reached the end of the road. I have one poem left. This one recently got published. I'm super happy about that. This cute little journal. I'd say it's about like being tired of being tired. And like the great James Baldwin once said, to be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be enraged almost all the time. So, Sin City. And oh, thank you, Claudia, for telling me about this, and thanks to the host, y'all have been amazing. All right, Sin City, for real. I'm tired of taking orders answering phone calls, wasting time, sweeping floors that aren't mine, working for Daniel, David, Lester, being annoyed by Becky, Lindsay, Heather, getting all my customers stolen because I'm not the pretty girl at the bar, leaving clues like an amateur sleuth that I don't want to be here, going to and leaving work broke. I'm just tired. Tired of telling trauma, not today, Satan. Telling grief and depression, not today, Satan. Telling being human and feeling, not any day, but especially not today. I'm tired of being the black girl in your workshop or workplace. Tired of teaching how not to be racist, sexist, stupid. Tired of talking when no one's listening and shaking my head to your senile status quo. In a perfect world, I'd be somewhere away from here, running swift with my pink slip, ready to slit anyone who dismissed me with heart-bleeding bliss, and sit in your white-ass classroom with a grin, waiting on my turn to spit my needed feedback on your black girl poem, not wondering if this is where I'm supposed to be. I finally have money to get my AC fixed, lose enough weight for old jeans to fit, then get drinks at Stonewall to reminisce on a time when I wasn't tired, and smoking weed, taking risks, were the only sins I embraced. Heart full with love, hands dripping with possibility. Thanks.